Hi there, everyone. It is currently the 10th of March 2015. Notice on the screen, Invest 97W. That is today's update for the tropics. Now actually a low pressure area. I shouldn't be labeling it an invest area anymore. That's the American term anyways from the NRL. They put that out, and that basically indicates that we have a tropical system out there in the Western Pacific. Well, anywhere. W specifically means Western Pacific. It indicates we have a tropical area of interest, and they're going to put an invest down on it. They're going to investigate it, put some satellites, some specific models out on it. Take a look at a satellite picture, at least right now. This is that storm system we actually have been talking about for some time now. That's the one across Japan. This is bringing some typhoon strength winds with it. That's why I put a separate video update out with that. As far as the tropics are concerned, here's the Philippines. Pretty dry conditions. You're dealing with the monsoon right in here. Then you follow the intertropical convergence zone all the way back there towards the east. Way on the other side of the screen there. I can't even get over there because my green screen ends. That is Invest 97W. It's now a low pressure area. The Japan Meteorological Agency does expect this to become a tropical depression in 48 hours. But to be honest, the definition of a tropical depression is a tropical low with a defined center of circulation in the tropics. That's what we're looking at right here. Look at the satellite imagery. We have the spiral circulation coming around here. Lots of convection along the northern periphery. That's to be expected. This area out here has been seeing some heavy rainfall lately, so definitely a lot of thunderstorms associated with this. And as far as the next 24 hours, I would not be surprised if this does become a TD. Right now we still have it labeled here on the surface analysis from weathercaster Michael Williams. Put this out here every day. Please go check out his update. At this time, though, as far as our tropical threat map, Invest 97W, we do have it colored in orange there. Moderate risk of development. JTWC as well also has this as a medium area now. I know some of you follow what the U.S. military says. And also because Guam follows what they say. They put out a track, Guam's track forecast. Going to reflect whatever JTWC says. Right now, there's nothing out there yet. All we got from them is some high surf advisories in place out there in Micronesia. But I'm sure they are watching this very, very closely because the big question is, yes, we got a storm system now. We're pretty confident this will become a tropical depression. At least I'm confident. Most of the Westpac weather team as well is confident on this. Where is it going to go, and how strong is it going to be getting? Key thing I want to keep in mind, we're still looking at the genesis phase of the storm system. That satellite picture was not pretty at all. We have a center of circulation, but it's just still organizing. The timing of where it goes, that's the big thing we're watching out for. Because I love this image. This is from the University of Wisconsin. It is the average overall background flow. Basically, tropical systems are going to follow these arrows. Now, the arrows change and move, and it's just basic, not exact perfection here. But the thing is, you have a high pressure over the Philippines, for example. Then we have this big trough dipping down. That's supporting our storm system over Japan. The thing with this, if this comes far enough south, any tropical systems that encounter that, it's going to get torn apart. It's not going to be very happy about that. The other thing, though, with this is that these move by every 3 to 4 days. So if this storm system comes west, while there's not a trough dipping in, it's more of a high-pressure ridge, that should keep it down here towards the south and more on a westerly track off towards the Philippines. Please do not ask me just yet if this is going to impact the Philippines. The other big thing is that all these variables are in place. This storm system's way over there towards the east, and then here's the Philippines. It's going to be taking an abundance of time to get from point A to point B. A lot of stuff can change. The longer you look at a forecast, the longer it's going to be. I've already been asked 3 times today, will this hit the Philippines? Right now, I never feel confident with saying I don't know, but I don't know. No one knows. Anybody who does, they must have a magical crystal ball that I do not know about. Let's take a look at some of our forecast models. That's another big pet peeve of mine. These are models, not official forecasts. And that's another thing some people have been commenting on today. That these are basically tools that you want to use when developing a forecast out here, guys. So here's one of them. For example, this is the GFS Outlook. This is the one that's been most aggressive on this storm. And in storms past, this model specifically is pretty good. Yeah, it's been good in times past, the last several storms. And if this was to occur, Guam, you're going to get hit with a tropical system, a tropical storm, maybe a severe tropical storm out of this pressure down below 1,000 HPA. So this could be a rather rough day out here for some of you. But let's compare this up with the NavGem, for example. This is the GFS, and on the same platform, let's take a look at the NavGem. Now, this is from the U.S. military. They put this model together, and that extends it off here a little bit farther towards the north, and eventually our low just kind of gets torn apart here by next week. Poor guy. He's just getting shredded off towards the northeast. It's because we have that high pressure come in, and that's just going to be ripping it apart, and it keeps it weak. Eventually, it does have it come back more on a westerly track, and I think most of the models are kind of convinced with that. It's going to get torn apart, either weaken out completely here or drift back there towards the west in the extreme long range. Right now, actually, as far as the date, which you're looking at right here, I mean, this is extending out through next Tuesday and to about this frame. So that's something we're going to be watching. And here's another image. This is actually the GFS ECMWF comparison for specifically Saturday in Guam. I know a lot of people are asking, what about Guam? The extended range can wait. Well, the thing about Guam is I think that we're going to be seeing at least some high gradient induced winds, at the very least, some gale force winds, because you have our low right here, and I do believe this is going to become a low. It's going to be interacting with that high coming in from the north, so we see an extensive wind field. Look at this. I mean, that's a pretty decent wind field. Same thing goes with the ECMWF outlook, is kind of indicating this. So even if this doesn't become a very strong tropical storm, you're still going to be seeing a very large wind field come out of it. So that's something that you have to keep in mind if you're talking about this storm system. For now, though, that's really all I'm going to kind of give you guys. We're mentioning it. We're keeping a close eye on it. Look at this image. This is just incredible, though. There's our low pressure area right here, Invest 97W. Just south of that, that's where Cyclone Pam is right now. Cyclone Pam, that's going to become a beast of a storm system. And then just off the coast of Queensland, we have a separate one. So 3 storms, kind of all, they're feeding off of each other's energy here. And that's one thing, with Pam so close to this one, until it drifts away towards the southeast, it's going to be continuing to suck in that moisture north of the equator. So you have to kind of get that apart. And once that does happen, that's when we start to see our storm system kind of get on its own, breaks free, and starts to intensify. But here you can really see those gradient-induced winds I'm talking about just a second ago, because you have all those high winds off here towards the north and not really much of anything towards the south. That's that pressure gradient interaction. So that's what we're going to be looking at for now. Guam, looking at some high winds, definitely high surf out of this. As I mentioned, the forecast could change, but right now it's Tuesday. I'm expecting this by Friday and a Saturday. At the very least, you're going to be seeing the high winds, but even this right here, for example, guys, and I know I'm still talking, and you're probably getting annoyed by it by now. Even this particular model, look at that, 64 kph. So that's tropical storm strength over the island of Guam. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on right now. This is the Meteor app, by the way. I know that the screen just kind of popped off there on the side, so you can see what I am using. If you like it, please go to the App Store. Check it out. They are generous enough to let us use this in our video updates. Plus, if you want to follow westernpacificweather.com at our website, please do go check that out. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Westpac Weather, also at Robert Speta. Don't forget to subscribe. Great image from Sapporo as well. This was shared to us on Monday, by the way. So some cool stuff going on there. All right, thanks again for watching, and as always, stay safe out there.